Hey guys, so we are going to read part of Act 3, Scene 2. I'm going to give you a little recap of the first part of the scene because it's a little bit funny, but it's kind of long, and so I'll just explain to you about what's going on. And then we're going to read this part of the scene where Don John comes in and starts to lay his trap for Claudio and Pedro to break up Claudio and Hero's marriage. Just to recap, remember previously in the play that Beatrice and Benedict have been fooled into loving each other, though they have not seen each other since they have both fallen in love. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens when they first are faced with each other. So at the beginning of Act 3, Scene 2, all of the guys are in Leonato's house, and they're kind of watching Benedict like get ready, and he's like putting on cologne, and he's like taking really great care with his hair, and they've noticed he started dressing differently, and so they're just like making fun of him. So they're talking about how he cares much more all of a sudden about all of these fancy things and looking good and stuff, so he must be in love. Now he hears them saying this, and they know that they're just making fun of him and that they're trying to get his goat, but he doesn't know that, and so he gets kind of mad at him, and he says, "Hey, I want to talk to Leonato," and so he and Leonato go off, and Claudio and Pedro are like, "Ha, it totally worked. I wish we could tell him about Beatrice, but we just have to wait." And then, so like the scene, the first half of the scene is like really lighthearted. It's funny. They're making fun of Benedict, and he's getting mad, and we know why, and so it's really comical. The second part of the scene, though, Don John enters, and it immediately becomes a darker scene, right? Because we know what Don John is up to, and so that's where we're gonna pick up with the scene. So the line that we're gonna start is just enter Don John. So it's about halfway through the scene. So just look for where Don John enters, and that's where we're gonna start with the text.
Enter Don John. My lord and brother, God save you.
Good den, brother.
If your leisure served, I would speak with you.
In private?
If it please you. Yet, Count Claudio may hear, for what I would speak of concerns him.
What's the matter?
To Claudio. Means your lordship to be married tomorrow?
You know he does.
I know not that, when he knows what I know.
If there be any impediment, I pray you discover it.
So John says, Pedro says, "You know he's going to get married tomorrow," and Don John says, "I don't know that he's going to get married tomorrow when he finds out what I know." And Claudio's like, "Psh, tell me. I need to know."
You may think I love you not. Let that appear hereafter, and aim better at me by that I now will manifest. For my brother, I think he holds you well, and in dearness of heart hath hope to effect your ensuing marriage. Surely suit ill spent and labor ill bestowed.
John admits, this is a really clever way to get his argument in, right? He says, "I know you think I don't love you, but let me try to give you some proof. Let that appear hereafter." And then he says, "My brother, I think he holds you well. I know my brother loves you and he wants to help you, but that was time poorly spent."
Why, what's the matter?
I come hither to tell you, and circumstances shortened, for she has been too long a talking of. The lady is disloyal.
Who? Hero?
Even she, Leonato's hero, your hero, every man's hero.
Dang! John just said, Leonato's hero, your hero, every man's hero. This is a similar line to when Othello said, "I would rather she had been with all the soldiers as long as I didn't know about it." That's kind of how Claudio is going to be feeling right now. He has a little bit stronger and quicker of a reaction than Othello did, though, and you'll see that soon in the coming scenes. But Claudio, at first, is disbelieving, but he quickly comes around to Don John's argument.
Disloyal?
The word is too good to paint out her wickedness.
Disloyal isn't a strong enough word.
Worse. Think you of a worse title, and I will fit her to it. Wonder not till further warrant. Go but with me tonight.
All right, now here's the plan.
You shall see her chamber window entered, even the night before her wedding day. If you love her then, tomorrow wed her. But it would better fit your honor to change your mind.
He says, here's the plan, right? Go with me tonight. You shall see her chamber window entered, right? Now remember, the plan is for Baraccio to be in Hero's room with Margaret in the window. And so from below, Claudio and Pedro, it's going to look like it's Hero. And Baraccio even said he's going to call out Hero's name. So they're going to believe that Hero is up there with another man, right? But obviously we know that that's not true. Hero is a completely innocent woman, just as Desdemona was. And Don John adds a little knife twist, right? If you love her then, well, hey, go ahead and marry her. But I think it would probably be better for your honor to change your mind.
May this be so?
I will not think it.
If you dare not trust that you see, confess not that you know. If you will follow me, I will show you enough, and when you have seen more and heard more, proceed accordingly.
If I see
John says, you don't have to trust me. Just come on. You'll trust your own ears and eyes.
anything tonight, why I should not marry her tomorrow in the congregation. Where I should wed, there will I shame her.
Claudio, one of the worst ideas in all of Shakespeare. He says, if I find out tonight that I shouldn't marry her, instead of going to talk to her about it, instead of confronting her in private, instead of trying to seek the truth, tomorrow when I'm supposed to be marrying her, I will publicly shame her. Yikes.
And as I wooed for thee to obtain her, I will join with thee to disgrace her.
I will disparage her no further till you are my witnesses. Bear it coldly but till midnight, and let the issue show itself.
O day untowardly turned.
Oh, mischief strangely thwarting.
Oh, plague right well prevented, so will you say when you have seen the sequel.
So Pedro and Claudio are like, oh man, this is terrible. And Don John is like, a plague right well prevented, right? Like, better to know now than after you're married. So Don John is not a good dude. Okay, so now that we've read the second half of 3.2, I want you to go into the discussion board. And I have a little bit of a problem with this scene. The reason I have a problem with it is it seems a little bit unbelievable that so quickly would Pedro and Claudio trust Don John. Don John, who recently has tried to mutiny against his brother to take power from him. Why would they trust anything he says? So try to get me there. Try to get me to understand how this scene is believable enough that we can continue the play. Okay?